So I've got a mix today of products that are brand new, and then some that are new to me, and then a couple of, classics, or products that I've used a lot. But there is actually a lot of new stuff in the stores right now. And so I do have a nice mix today of products that I think are, either brand new on the shelves or new to me. If you like this kind of content, I would definitely love it if you would consider subscribing or liking the video. And you can, of course, find me on YouTube and on Instagram, unsolicited_ice. So I've got some life updates. It's been really crazy. I, over the holiday break, went back to my home in Fayetteville, Arkansas, where I had lived for the past 20 years, to pack up my home. I've been staying at this horribly lit studio apartment for 2 months while I moved over to Oklahoma City. And my new apartment will be ready by the end of the month. So I'm really excited, but that also means that lots of changes. I had to pack up 16 years of home and to move stuff over, and then had to kind of consider what I wanted to do with my house in Fayetteville, but also getting stuff ready for here. So I'm going to share some life updates today, but we do have some new products to talk about. The first one being a new foundation, the new Dior Forever Hydra Nude. I have mine in the shade 2.5. I'm typically a 2.5 in Dior products. I know so many people that are 2.5s in Dior. But anyway, this seems to be a liquid, very hydrated version of their traditional Forever formula. I've heard that this is supposed to be sort of a liquid version of the stick foundation that came out last year that was so viral and popular. And so I'm hoping that it is, because I do like that stick foundation a lot. Although I have found that applying it to a brush and then to my face is kind of the best method, because it can get heavy if you apply it straight to your face. So to avoid it looking extra thick, I do try to do that. As far as other new products to me today, I did pick up a new Forever Skin Correct Concealer. The one I had was the wrong color. This is in 2, which is traditionally what I've been using in Dior in the Backstage line. So I think that these two should complement each other very well today, and I'm hoping that it's a nice product. I'm going to pair it with the Forever Glow Star Filter from last year that I love so much. I've got mine in the shade 3. And then I also have a new shade of the Forever Glow Maximizer in bronze, which I'm going to kind of use as a glowy bronzer for today. I have ordered the 2 new ones, the Lilac and the Tutu one, as well as the new Lilac Luminizer. But I have had all sorts of problems with Dior sending to my old address and then telling me that they were going to send it here, and then sending it again to the old address, and then having me reorder and send back, and I still haven't got it. And I'm at the point now where I'm kind of just waiting for it to go to Nordstrom or to Sephora or something, because I'm tired of placing orders that I haven't been refunded yet and I haven't received the product yet. And the Dior customer service line has been a nightmare. I also have a former a Couture Luminizer. Like I said, they have a new one coming in Lilac, but I'm going to use this one in Rosewood Glow today, because I'm going to kind of do a bronzy brown look. And while I'm at it, I did pick up a new to me product, although it's not new. It did come out last year, but it's an extension of my favorite Natasha Denona line, which is her My Dream collection. This is the My Dream Mini. This was on sale and I picked this up, and so I was excited to use it today to kind of continue out that bronze look. Let's see, other products that I'm going to use today that are kind of new to me. I do have the Lancome bronzer. I finally picked it up in the shade 3, light medium. I've heard a lot about this product, and so I'm excited to try it. It's a beautiful, warm, but relatively neutral color, and that is a stunning embossment in packaging. Although I did expect this to be heavier. It's fairly lightweight. And then I've got, let's see, what else do I have? I have a Victoria Beckham contour stick. I have been previously using the second lightest shade, but I did pick up the lightest shade, and I use these primarily on my nose because the pricing is so expensive to use it much anywhere else. I also have a new shade, shade 1 of the Dior contour stick. I had previously the darker shade, but I wanted to get something that was kind of better for winter. And then what else do I have today? I've got some Cali Ray correctors that I, always use. Rare Beauty eye primers I always use. Benefit brow pencils. But I do have a few products that I haven't utilized before. I have the new Chanel Coco Baume in 752 Honey Bliss. It's a beautiful like coffee color. Kind of a toffee really kind of color, so we're going to use that today. That's part of that new Chanel collection, which I have previously done a short or an Instagram reel with the eyeshadow, and then I do have the highlighter coming, but it was on back order. And I do have a new lip product that I've really been enjoying, which is the new Dennis Gross Plump and Repair Lip Treatment. I have found that if I put this on about 30 minutes before putting on a lipstick or a balm, it just makes it look so much better. It plumps, but it also kind of fills in. So I really love that. And finally, I bit the bullet and picked up a couple of the YSL blushes that were in a set from the holidays. I had never tried the YSL liquid blushes. In fact, I've only really ever tried the Armani ones, which I really love. But I wanted to see what the YSL formula was like, as I think it's a little bit more pigmented. And so this one is in the nude color 44. And so I think that will look nice with this kind of bronzy look. And then I have the new Refer liquid cream brushes that I'm going to use today. So yeah, we've got kind of a smorgasbord of stuff to try out. And so let's go and start with my brows. I'm going to go to my Benefit Brow, my trusty pencil. So, I had to decide what I was going to move with me, what I was going to pay to have moved, what I was going to give to Goodwill, what I was going to put in storage, what I was going to give to friends. It was a mess because, I've gone from a 3-bedroom house and I'm going to go to a large, but it's still a 1-bedroom apartment. Now, it's a 1-bedroom apartment that's not that much smaller than my 3-bedroom house because I had a very small house. But still, there's extra furniture that I just wouldn't need, like the guest bed and things like that. So pretty much the entire holiday break was utilized on packing or moving. I did get up to see my best friend for New Year's Eve, but that was pretty much it as far as the holidays were concerned. And then my parents were kind of sick for Christmas, so they didn't get to come. It was just kind of a mess. I did get to see my brother, so that was nice. But otherwise, it was kind of a down Christmas. But I am so excited to get into my new space, and I'm sure that everyone, who watches me on here is excited too, because the lighting here has not been great. And I'm ready to have some space to move around and have my entire collection. I've only had a portion of it here, so it's been hard to do like comparison videos and stuff. So I'm using my Rare Beauty eyeshadow primer, which really is kind of my favorite everyday eyeshadow primer. And I'm going to go in, like I said, with that Natasha Denona My Dream collection. This is the mini palette. I love the Natasha Denona My Dream palette, and I love the Natasha Denona My Dream lipstick and lip liner and the mini glow highlighters and blushes and all that. So I was excited to finally get kind of the last piece of this. This is a little 5-pan, and so I'm going to go in with the lightest color first, which it looks like it's called Balance. And I'm just going to put that in my crease. I love these Natasha Denona minis, but now I like when they are extensions of the palette or primarily extensions of the palette, and they're not simply just 5 shades from the palette. She doesn't do that as much anymore. She used to do, I remember with like, what was it? Sunrise and the tropical one. I can't remember if it's called tropical. Like I said, I don't have it in front of me. She used to just do like 5 of the popular colors from them. And I don't really like that. But in these now, she's kind of been adding a little bit more variety. And then in some, like in the Mini Metropolis, or not Mini Metropolis, sorry. That one I think is just an extension too. In the Mini Pastel and in the Mini Trio Chrome, they're completely new palettes. They're just kind of like a 5th row, which is really awesome. So this is a really pretty pigmented transition color. It's kind of like a caramel. Now I have her new Define and Sculpt, and I was kind of pulling them up to look at the differences. And if you replace the 2 metallics that are in this palette with 2 lighter mattes, you'd pretty much have that Sculpt palette. So if you have this, you might not want that, although I like to use that Mini Sculpt palette in addition. So now I'm going to grab the last matte, which is called Nurture. I do believe this color is in the original. I remember that name. And I'm going to just darken things up here on the corner. That's a really pretty color. These are, you know, there's a multi-chrome, there's some like pinky colors and orangey colors in that palette. She's kept this one very neutral, but it's very pretty. I don't want this look to be overly smoky, so I'm going to go in with just a touch of Loyalty. It's the darkest brown here in the corner. Just a little bit. I don't want it to be overly dark. But that is highly pigmented, so you have to really control it. If I had gone in with a smaller brush, I could control it even more. But I don't mind it. I'm just not going to take it out as far, because like I said, I don't want it to be too smoky. So yeah, that's a nice base. That could have been achieved with that Mini Sculpt palette. And then I'm going to go in with my Pat McGrath Intensify Wand, because the metallic shimmers in here are very pretty. They're not particularly sparkly or some of her new like kind of wet looking formulas. They're just kind of a really pretty shiny metallic. But she has a beautiful metallic formula anyway. And this Intensify Wand will make them even more impactful. And then I'm going to use my fingers too, so that's going to make them even shinier. So the middle color in this little 5-pan is called Passionate. I don't remember that color in the big My Dream palette, so this must be new. It's kind of a bronzy white color. There's another metallic in here called Devotion. I do think that that one is in the main one, so this may be just a repeat. Devotion is a little bit more bronzy, so I'm going to put that one on the lid, and I'm going to put the other one, Passionate, more on the inner third and inner corner. So this is the kind of bronzier color, and so I'm going to place that right here. This is pretty. It's not a groundbreaking color story. It's probably selling like gangbusters for her though, because I could see this being like a really workplace appropriate color story. Same thing on the other side. I always feel like very, I don't know, fancy when I get to do 2 eyes that match, because when I shoot my little Instagram stories, I normally will do two eyes at once, you know, but two different eyes. So I'm not putting too much strain on my eyelids. So when I get to do one cohesive look, it's so nice. Now that middle color is Passionate. I don't recall this one, so this might be a new color. It's kind of a silvery taupe. And I'm gonna put that on the inner third. Yeah, that's a much lighter silvery color. Very pretty. I wish that there was kind of a sparkly topper in here, but there's not. And it is a beautiful look nonetheless. So to go on to the rest of the face, I'm going to go in, like I said, with that new Dior, well, it's new to me, Dior concealer. But before I do that, I'm going to go in with the Believe in Truth Aqua Bomb Eye Gel. This is something that I talked about recently that I think her name is Hey It's Jacqueline on YouTube has recommended. It's not only an eye cream, but it also acts as a concealer primer. It creates a really sticky, grippy base for your concealer to go onto, and I really like that. I need a little bit more product. You have to be careful with it though, because if you push really hard, you get way too much product. But it's got a cooling sensation, so I like to run it along the bottom here. And like I said, it creates this kind of gripper. So it's a 2-in-1. It's a soothing eye cream that's kind of cooling because it has like a ceramic top, but it also acts as a really cool, kind of like a primer for your concealer. For my primer for the traditional, you know, rest of the face, I'm going to go in with the Forever Glow Star Filter, and this is in shade 3, which is a little dark for me, but I actually like that because under the foundation, it really will shine through. This is a beautiful product. It's apparently very reminiscent of the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. I don't have any Charlotte Tilbury products. I find her to be a little annoying, but I really like this, and I've heard that this is a thinner version, and I find as a primer, it's not really thick or thin. So a complaint that I've heard about the Flawless Hollywood filter, and even the one from e.l.f., which I do like, is that they can be a little thick. This one I don't really find thick or thin. It's just kind of a really nice consistency. It's not particularly moisturizing. It's going to just add glow, so you definitely want to do skincare under it. I just used my Refer lotion. So I'm going to go in with the Forever Skin Correct concealer, and I have this in shade 2. They did not do and maybe they will, depending on how this sells, but the new Forever Hydra Nude foundation, they did not do a matching concealer for it, although they do have a couple of concealers. They have this one, they have the Backstage line concealer, which I like. It's a good kind of light medium coverage. This is apparently a full coverage, so I'm excited to try this because the only other time I've tried it, I had a color that was far too dark for me. Okay, so I would say right off the bat, I like this texture. It's spongy, which I like. I'm going to go in with my Refer, the new liquid cream brushes. This is the Liquid Cream 01, and it's a great concealer brush. Okay, I can see why they would say that this is a full coverage. It is really perfecting. I know that this is not a new product, so probably everybody watching is like, no shit, Sherlock. But like I said, I haven't used it because the color sample I had was so dark that I just never used it. I thought that with this new foundation though, it was a good time to try it. In the past with Dior products, even the stick foundation, of course they don't have one of those either, a stick concealer, which would be nice if they came out with one like the Tom Ford. but I've just used the Backstage. But I've always felt like it was a little bit thin compared to their cream or liquid concealers. So I am excited to see how this turns out. Now this is the Forever Hydra Nude, and this is in 2.5. It says it's perfection with 48-hour hydration. I don't know what that means. I'm not going to be wearing this for 48 hours. If I wear it for 4, I will have been doing a lot. But I have the color 2.5, which on the back of my hand looks a little bit golden. But in the past, I have found that they look golden at first, and then they go on and they look great. So I'm just going to place this on. This has a glowy, but not too glowy. It's kind of like a natural, just a very pretty illuminated kind of shine, but once it goes down, it's not matte, it's kind of a soft radiant. Now you put the star filter under it and you're obviously going to pick up more glow, and that's why I did it like that today. But it's not in and of itself a glowy foundation like the Makeup Forever Glow or anything like that. That reminds me, you know, last year around this time, Armani started, or the blog started promoting Armani coming out with a glowy version of the Luminous Silk. And I guess it only went to the Asian market because we never got it here. And I'm sad about that because that is probably my all-time favorite, like, Warhorse foundation that, you know, I can use and know that it's always going to turn out well. So I would have been really interested in trying that. They also hinted at a cooling setting powder that I guess went to Asia, but we never got. I hope that maybe comes here one day because I would really like to try that. See, this is just kind of a pretty, it's not matte, it's just kind of natural, but that star filter that's under it is giving it an illuminated look, which is really nice. I'm going to go in and finish the eye look by just grabbing just an angled brush, because what I'm going to do is go in with the color Nurture under the eye and just draw that out. That is a really pretty color. I forget about that. I forget. I really do. I think if forced to choose, the My Dream palette is probably still my favorite palette from Natasha. Now, granted, she's come out with some really cool formulas since then, like in Yucca and Xenon and Roja or whatever last year that had those really cool formulas in them. But I find the color story is what I respond to so much in here. I'm going to go in with that darkest color, just in on the corner, very concentrated. A little bit of fallout there, so I probably should have tapped my brush, but it's not an unmanageable amount. I placed an order for that new, I'm gonna grab a spoolie and see if I can get that off. Yeah, it came off pretty nice. That new Urban Decay Moon Dust, they have that new one called Diamond Dog. That would go great with this or with that new Shape Eye Sculpt palette. It's kind of a brown, but with really shiny silver sparkles. So now that we kind of have that base going, I'm going to go in with an eyeliner. And for this one, I'm going to go in with Blitz Brown by Pat McGrath, which is just one that I love. And just do the waterline. I don't have to smudge this one out because I already did a dark color. On the corner there from that little quint. we've had a long weekend here because of the weather. So Friday was a remote day. So while I was working, I watched that Substance movie. That, I don't think is a movie made for me, but it was entertaining. I will give it that. And Demi Moore, I'm so pleased she's having a moment now. It's great when you see somebody, you know, having a moment after kind of being ignored by the industry for so long. Now I'm going to curl them with my Rephr brushes. Excuse me, Rephr brushes. My Rephr eyeshadow or eyelash curler. Which is a really good one. And then I'm going to grab my YSL Lash Clash in the Uninhibited Brown, which is my favorite brown eye mascara. So I'm going to grab that. Let's see how that turns out. I wish they would come out with more colors of this. Like, I like the Uninhibited blue, although sometimes I find it a little bright, so I'll mix it with the black. I'll do the black first and then just the tips in the blue, or I'll do just the black first and the tips in the brown. But I wish that they would come out with like maybe a burgundy or dark red. I think that would be really cool. They really are. I've tried so many mascaras, but for some reason, and I know everybody's different, but for some reason, the YSL Lash Clash has always been my favorite. This one's kind of thick because it's old, but I don't mind it because it gives like that spider web effect. I would use a newer one if I wanted something a little finer. But with a look like this, it's pretty simple, so I like having a very dramatic lash. That looks great. So I'm going to go in with a bronzer. Well, I'm going to do a bronzing step, but we're going to start with contour. And I have a new color of the contour stick. I had the darker color, which I really like, in the summer, but it was a little dark. This one is very close to the Westman Atelier. That is still my favorite in Biscuit. But this is in shade 1 Light. So I'm just going to go in here. It is very malleable. And it does have a slight fragrance, but it's nothing too bad. I would say that this is perhaps even a little bit grayer than the Westman Atelier one. And then I'm going to go in with the shade, what's it called? Travertine from Victoria Beckham on my nose. This is pretty close. I would say that this is maybe a little bit warmer. But not this. They complement each other really well. And like I said 100 times, I would use this everywhere, but it's too expensive. So I'm going to now go in and just work this in. This is a really nice contour. For some reason, I've always preferred the Westman Atelier, but it's comparing at the most minute level because, I mean, this is a beautiful product. I don't know. I keep meaning to look and see which one's a better value per price. They're probably somewhat comparable. I don't know if you get that much more product from the Dior one or not. The Westman Atelier one, as I've said before, is hands down my most purchased or repurchased product. I'm going to go in and just kind of carve out the nose there with the back side of my concealer brush and just work that Victoria Beckham in. That looks good. So let's see, for bronzer, I picked up the new, let me grab a brush before it falls on the floor. So ready to move. I picked up the new Lancome. This is the transforming bronzer made in Italy. This is 03 light medium. Light looked really great, but it looked like more of a contour shade for me. I know this came out last year. We got a lot of bronzers last year. Armani, YSL. Gucci has always been my favorite, but this one is very nice from the swatches. Very pigmented. I like the texture. It's very buttery. Although that beautiful rose embossing will be gone very soon. This one has a luminous finish, but it's not particularly shiny. Like, I think the Armani one has a little bit of a golden reflex in it. This one doesn't have that. It's just kind of a very nice bronzer. It's very nice. It's not as flat as like the YSL one. So for blush, I'm gonna try these YSL liquid. This is in 44, the nude shade. I'm a little scared to see how this turns out because I haven't tried these before. But I really like the Armani ones, so maybe it'll look like kind of that. I've heard that these are a little more pigmented and a little bit more matte than the Armani ones. They tend to have more of a translucent kind of to them, like you can kind of see through them a little bit more, where this one is a little bit more pigmented. It's a pretty color though. I say that, but I could probably, I think I am going to do another layer of that. Maybe just 4 more dots there. And blend that in. So yeah, I get to move to my new apartment soon, and I'm so excited. You've known, if you watched my videos, the turmoil that I've had at this place, and it's been a nice transition place. You know, I didn't know anything about this city when I got here, so it's been nice, but I am ready to have my things and to be in my own space again. I did pick up a new shade of the Forever Glow Maximizer in bronze that I thought I could use as kind of a bronze tour highlighter thingy. So we're going to see how that looks. It might look really strange. But before I do that, I'm going to go in with this Dr. Wayne Gross. Dennis. Wayne is me. I'm Dr. Dennis Gross. This Derma Infusions Plump and Repair Treatment. And I'm just going to put a little bit on my lips. Again, something you have to be really careful. It does burn a little bit. I have found that if it sits for about 20 minutes on your lips, whatever you put on top of it looks 500 times better. So that's going to go in, and it's going to start burning right now. It's going to start burning just a little bit. So I'm going to go in with this, and God help me, this looks very dark. But I'm just going to do like 4 dots kind of under where the blush is. And I'm going to take and see if I can create kind of a bronzy highlight. Yeah. I mean, I look dark. That looks like something I should use in the summer. Like I said, I have some new colors coming, but it doesn't look bad. It looks very pretty and glowy. For the highlighter though, I'm going to go in with the Dior Rosewood Glow. I think it was that Tanya, the Have Yourself a Drink lady, who introduced me to these and this particular shade, and because it looks very dark in the pan, but on it has just a really beautiful, like, softly lit color. These are not nearly as pigmented as the liquid versions. So you actually can, and this is something that I think she taught me, take a big fluffy brush and do your, just if you want like a really kind of softly lit glow, you can take a big fluffy brush and one of these and just go in like this, tap it off, and then just kind of gently go over, and it gives you just the softest kind of glow. So now for my lips, now that they're burning like the devil, I'm going to go in. I got a Sephora collection liner. This is in Knock on Wood. I picked it up during the holiday sale. I like the Sephora collection liners because I find that they last a pretty good while and they're a really good value. I tend to not, unless it's part of a set or something, like the Natasha My Dream. I really like that one. Or the Pat McGrath Nude, what is it? Nude Venus line. I really like that one. But for the most part, I don't like spending a lot on lip liners. So in this case, these work out really well for me. And this one is kind of a caramel color. So I thought it would go really well with the Chanel. This is the Knock on Wood 27. Let me see if I can... See, it's just kind of a caramel. It actually literally is the color of caramels that you would get, you know, like a Werther's. So this is still a little slick. I should have put this on right when I started. So I'm going to take off some of it. It would have been much better if I would have started with that as step one, but I didn't. Like I said, I'm so excited to have my desk and everything back. They glide really nice. And with the Sephora sales, or when they put Sephora collection on sale, you know, you can get these for under $10. Yeah, that looks nice. So the new Chanel color, they came out with some new Baume Essentials as part of the spring line. Like I said, the highlighters hadn't come in yet, but it should be here sometime this week. But this is one of the new colors, and it's Honey Bliss 752. And it's just a caramel color, but it has like little gold sparkles in it. I don't know if you can even see that on camera, but it's beautiful. I think it'll go really well. I somehow managed to do latte makeup again. These feel so nice on the lip. I would say, they say they last 24 hours. They don't. They last maybe about 4. But they are still a lovely product. This one's got like tiny little gold reflex in it. But not like the holiday lines that came out, you know, like the Dior sequin ones or anything like that. It's not near like that. It kind of is just a really pretty, just a tiny amount of reflex. Okay, I think that looks really nice. So I'm going to set everything with my Peach and Lily Glass Veil Setting Spray. Shake very well. And I like this because it gives a nice glow to the skin without being overly hydrated looking. So this is a nice, I guess you would call this latte makeup, but I think it looks really beautiful. You know, and we're not gonna have that many more videos shot here, thank God. It will be at a proper station soon. But I thought this would just be a way to try it. I gotta say that Dior foundation looks really beautiful. Medium coverage, I'd say that is a winner. That is a really beautiful product. So yeah, I'm pleased with this. If you enjoyed today or you enjoy this kind of content, then please consider subscribing. Unsolicited advice on Instagram and YouTube. And you can also shop my links below. It helps greatly with my channel because I'll get a small percentage based on, and it doesn't cost you anything. So again, I hope you enjoyed, and I will be coming to you soon with some more new products and more life developments. Until then, enjoy the photos at the end of how this all turned out, and I will see you soon. Bye.